Mom has worked really hard at making some nice steak and potatoes for dinner while sipping old-fashioned drinks and smoking Marlboros all the while. By the time we sit to eat, she is silently soused. I'm 19 and living back at home. At college, I had a major bicycle accident that left me unconscious in the hospital for 5 days. I'm forced to leave school early to recuperate at home with my parents. I've been on opiate prescription drugs for the pain for the last 4 months without my parents knowing anything about it and without any doctor's instructions. We don't talk about anything. I realize I'm addicted when I continue to take them every day for several months, even after the pain subsides. I make a decision to go cold turkey. Growing up in a house like this, the last thing I want to be is an addict. I go through 5 days of hell on my own in my bedroom. Hallucinations of serpents, snakes, and crawling, slithering creatures. I have waking nightmares, often screaming, sweating, and writhing in withdrawal pain. I presume my family has heard some of this, and again, it must be the great wall of silence that keeps them from asking me anything. At dinner, as usual, we are all sitting at the orange dinette set, surrounded by the little mushroom-patterned wallpaper. Mom is quietly drinking at one end, and Dad is just getting started at the other. Little sister is across from me. By this time, my oldest brother, Mitch, is married and doesn't live with us anymore. My brother, Eric, has been gone for 7 years, and we're not to speak his name in the house. I remember our years when we were all together, living on Lake Huron in Michigan. It was idyllic and pastoral, fun and endlessly entertaining. I was always on the beach with Mitch and Eric, swimming from as early as possible in April, right through September. We would run home from school during our 1.5-hour lunch break, change quickly into our bathing suits, and run out to the lake and swim until our mom rang a bell and handed us a sandwich that we ate as we ran back to school. My brother Eric marks a before and after in my life. There is before, when Eric was alive, and then there is after the car crash, when I was 12 and he was 14. In the after, my parents will not allow us to speak his name. They have none of it. It's the wall of silence. Mom's always so quiet in her altered state. I think, why isn't Mitch here to protect us? And I long for Eric, that wild, rowdy, Elvis-loving brother of mine, to break this dreadful silence. I have dreams about Eric and want to tell the whole family that I spoke with him. Tell them he came through the window dressed in white and told me that everything is okay. He actually said just that. I want you to know everything is okay. In the dream, I asked if he could stay a while longer. I was ecstatic just to see his face. But I had to let him go. It was a dream. I want to share this with them now at the dinner table, but I know I'm not to speak his name. Dad's at the end of the table, not really eating dinner with us, but rather holding court. The first part of the evening is innocuous, even ordinary, but the atmosphere is crackling, charged, anticipatory. He's very elegantly drinking his martini and wants to know how everyone's day was. Dad can be a funny man, even charming, when he isn't fully loaded. In some deep, true place, I believe my father genuinely wants to connect with family and with life. But somehow, after a few more sips, just like that, the tables turn. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. No matter what anyone says, and especially me, he's ready to pounce. Look what you've done, he screams at me out of nowhere. I don't have a clue what he's talking about. Maybe he's referring to the Vietnam War. We always fight about that. That's normal. But it could also be about the traffic buildup on his commute to the office in Detroit. It could be anything. I ask him, what are you talking about? Look at your mother. What? I think, me? What? She sits there in her silent stupor, too afraid to say anything. She gets up to clear the table. She must not want to escalate what's about to come. But it's unavoidable. It always does. I want to scream at her, where are you going? Don't leave me here. But he screams at me first. Look what you've done to your mother. What? I think. I start to wonder if he's so angry because he knows something about the drug withdrawal, or maybe it's because I recently had sex for the first time with someone that I care for. This new experience is actually helping me keep some level of sanity during my father's rage. The world is in the middle of a sexual revolution, and as it is, having sex for the first time at the old age of 19 feels almost like arrested development. And he's freaking out? Is this my father's patriarchal anger because his daughter has had sex? Is he really this archaic? He interrupts my thinking when he screams at me again. You're the cause of everything that's gone wrong in this family. I'm in shock. I begin crying and asking over and over again, what do you mean? What do you mean? At the time, I don't know anything about alcoholism. How was I supposed to know he didn't know what he was saying, or that there is no logic when talking to someone who's drunk? On and on he continues until I'm crying so hard I'm gasping for breath. My sister has now retreated to the other room to slouch on the couch and watch TV. My mother never speaks up. I am lost, confused, and alone. I stay for 4 more months to recover from my bicycle accident and my drug withdrawal. Then I move out of my family home, never to live there again. Coda. Now I call Lace Mill my home. I think that listening to my neighbors' stories in this TMI project has broken me open. It has further broken down the wall of silence that I grew up with. I feel touched and deeply moved by everyone's true life stories. They have entered my being on some deep cellular level. Connecting to the truest of truths, that human life is suffering. I don't say this with sorrow, but with a sense of glory and joy for the resilience of all of us in the face of so many sweet and tragic tales. Rarely did I reflect on the before of my life because it was verboten to speak Eric's name. But now I say it, Eric, Eric, Eric. Now I will scream it, and love him, and love the 12 years I had with him. It is in part TMI project that has made the Lace Mill a home sweet home.